This is House of Purpose and Power, and it's another moment of deep conversation around the House of Purpose. Because what we do here majorly is to build people in the House of Purpose and help them take charge of House of Power. So it's to build you in House of Purpose, and then you begin to use the capacity that you have built in the House of Purpose to take care of House of Power. And so today we'll be speaking to the power of reflection, the power of reflection, that no one is designed to just live life a straight life, that no one is designed to just live life as it comes by, that there must always be a portion of the day spent on reflection, that we've got to build some quality portion of the day for reflection, that whatever that happens to you must be addressed at the room of reflection, that you don't just go through life without building a blueprint to life. And the only way you can build a blueprint, a manual to life, is through constant reflection over everything that happens to you, that happens around you, that happens to other people around you. Because majority of us have been configured to forget whatever that happens to us. Majority of us have been wired that immediately we get out of any challenges, any difficulties, any moments, we forget about it. And I'm going to give some of us a practical example that most of us have forgotten the effect of COVID-19. Majority of us have forgotten the event of COVID-19. In 2008, there was an event of economic depression all over the world. That the people who witnessed the event, majority of them have forgotten the event. But life is lived forward, but it is understood backward. Life is lived forward, but understood backward. And that is the purpose of reflection. One of the powerful gifts is the power of reflection, the ability to sit down every day, analyzing what has happened to you, what has happened in your environment, what has happened to people around you, and build a lesson out of it. You know, on many occasions, you have got the grace to lose thousands, you have got the grace to lose few currencies. But when you get to some point in life, you do not have the grace to lose huge capital again. And that is why you've been given the chance to learn from the small mistakes, the small challenges, the small moments, so that you can build a blueprint to manage that time when you begin to have huge and big. Rayan Namal, Maggie. So the conversation speaks to the power of reflection, that at the early stage of your life, you have got the grace to lose so many things, to make some certain mistakes, to make some certain errors. But there's a point when you won't be able to have that grace to lose any longer. But the only way you can manage that time is when you have been able to build blueprints from small mistakes, from small errors. Dr. Hay. But majority of us have been programmed to always forget every event without deep reflection. For me, one of the biggest way I've tried to go through life is that at the end of every day, before I retire to bed, I've got some quality times to spend reflecting on what has happened throughout the day. And I will begin to connect the day, the event of the day, to some previous event that has happened in my life. And then I begin to build blueprints. I begin to build blueprints. And one of the powerful things about human is the concept of being. Majority of us do not know the reason why we are called human being. The being means to keep existing. The being means to remain fresh. And that is, if you have to remain fresh, you've got to be different every moment, every hours, and every day. That is the concept of being. It is not B-double-E-N. It is BEING. That you've got to be different every day. And that is why we are always encouraged to do self improvement, self development, because we have got to always be better every day. And for you to be better every day, you must be able to reflect on your yesterday or on your previous hour, on your previous moments, and build a better way out of it. You've got to be able to look back and see what happened yesterday and see what happened the previous hour and build the next hour out of it and build the next day out of it. And that is why reflections remains one of the powerful gifts that anyone should develop. You've got to be able to reflect on your previous hours, previous day, and build the next day more better. But majority of people do not understand what is being. We just hear and then we just call ourselves human being and human being. But majority of us are no more human being. We are just human being full of activities. Sheye Natude. And that is the reason why I've decided to speak to the power of reflection. When you see someone full of wisdom, full of knowledge, it does not mean that the person has learned everything through books, through materials. On many occasions, it is wisdom is built through reflection. When you look at scenarios, when you look at incidents, when you look at events, and you critically examine them, you critically evaluate them, that is the purpose of reflection. That is the purpose of reflection. And also, majority of people do not understand the purpose of challenge, difficult moments. And that is why when some people are going through difficult moments, they begin to cry, they begin to worry, they begin to, they are disturbed. But nobody goes bigger, nobody goes higher without challenge, without difficulties, without all of these. On many occasions, difficult moments were designed for your development, for your upliftment. But because in this moment, majority of us are worried, majority of us are disturbed. It is not possible for you to address your situation properly and build a blueprint out of it if you cannot build this reflection gift in the time of difficulties. If you have not been able to build reflection capacity in the time of trouble. So the concept of reflection is a gift given unto us to be able to address every situation in our life, to look at it critically, to observe deeply, and then build a blueprint out of it. And that is why you see, majority of us at every phase of our life, we keep going to people for help. We keep seeking knowledge from other people. But nobody is better than you. They are not better than you. They also built the knowledge. You see them sharing through reflection, through observation. So when they find themselves in a situation, they critical at the end of that situation, they critically observe the situation and build a blueprint out of it. That the next time when this comes to me, I'm going to approach it this way. I'm going to address it this way. But for you, whenever you go through any moment, at the end of it, you forget about it. So you do not have this reflection capacity to look at what has happened to you, to look at what you have gone through and build a blueprint to it. We've got to be able to develop reflection capacity. We don't just go through life, we evaluate life, we examine life. So every difficult moment, every tough time, every challenges comes to build us, comes to take us from that level to the other. I often tell people that every next level you require, every next level you aspire, requires a new you, requires a different you. Almost all of us want a different level, a new level, promotions, every other things. But we are not ready to go through that difficult moment that will refine us and build us to that new level that we want. Every new level requires a new you. And for you to gain that newness, there comes some trouble times, there comes some tribulations, there comes some challenges. And when you are going through this tribulation, tough time, you've got to be calm, you've got to be cheerful, and you've got to be able to reflect and learn through it. And so, one of the biggest ways to go through life is to build reflection capacity. You can create 1 hour, 2 hours, few minutes at the end of the day when you begin to look back. You begin to critically analyze your day. You begin to critically analyze how far you've come. You know, one of the greatest way to identify your gift is also through reflection. So you can easily identify your gifts, your strength through constant reflection. Thank you, Grundak. Grundak, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate. Appreciate. We can tap. Let's tap. Let's tap. Let's tap. Let's tap. One of the biggest way to identify your gift and your strength is through the power of reflection. When you can sit down, apportion some time every day to look back at how you have been evolving, how far you've come through life. Sometimes I reflect as far back as my age 5, my age 7, my age 10, my teen years, and my early 20s. It is one of the biggest gifts given to human being to think critically, to look at issues of life, to look at things that has happened to you. Why did this one happen? Thank you, thank you, thank you, Grondak. Why did this happen to you? How were you able to address it? And going forward, how should you address it? It is the concept of reflection. You don't just go through life, forget about what has happened to you yesterday. And so, if the same thing will happen to you in the next few days, when it happens to you, you begin to go through the worriness. You are disturbed. But if you have reflected on the previous one and build a good concept, build a blueprint, if it repeats itself, you will be able to address it properly. And I've been able to use the concept of COVID 19. I've been able to use the concept of economic depression that happened in 2008 and in the 90s and 70s. That if you see a financial expert sitting before you and speaking as if he's the God, nobody is God. He has learned from the past. Yeah, he has learned from history. And the only way you can learn from history is through the power of reflection. When anything happens, you sit critically and look at the pattern and look at the chain of reactions. So you don't just go through life, you've got to build that reflection capacity. You can do it every day, you can do it at the end of every week, but I think it has to be done every day. When you sit with yourself, you spend that quality time, reflect over everything. Wisdom is not built anyhow, wisdom is built intentionally. And there's so many things you can learn from yourself. So you don't just go about listening to other people. Life is not lived through other people's templates. Life is best lived through your own templates. Life is best lived through your own templates and not other people's templates. And I'm not here to condemn having a mentor, having people that you listen to. But I'm saying that if you are able to also build yourself to a point that whatever that your mentor is telling you, you are using it as a guide and not as a direct application. So you don't apply what people tell you directly. You pick them as a guide and then apply your own knowledge, apply your own wisdom, and look at the one that is good for you. Remove the one that is not good for you. Because let me tell you, your journey is different from other people's journey. And no matter how smart and intelligent your mentor and the people that you listen to are, their story is still different from your story. Their experience is still different from your experience. And so if you keep applying people's guide and advice to you directly, you are likely to fall and you are likely to go astray. Because it's more like you are patterning your life towards their whole life. It's more like you just want to become like them. But nobody has the same experience. You can never become another person. And if you are trying to pattern your life towards their life, you will fail because you won't be able to do it well. You won't be able to do it rightly. You have got different gifts, you have got different strengths. And the best way for you to live is to apply your own strengths, is to apply your own gift. And that is why it is important for you to be able to build that concept of reflection, to identify your strength, to identify your gift, to know how far you've come and where you are going. I've on this platform, I've spoken about the power of gift and how if you identify your gift, embrace your gift, develop your gift, and you begin to express your gift, you can easily assume purpose. Rizul, Bahada, Jaidu, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming here. So that you do not seek purpose. You build your gift, express your gift, and you assume purpose. And how do you then identify your gift? It's through the concept of reflection that I'm talking about. The concept of reflection that I'm talking about. And that is why majority of great teacher encourages you to find a way to leave off the screen, to leave off your phone and build some quality time with yourself. That you should not always be on the phone. You should not allow the gadgets to lead your life all the time. So what they are telling you is to build these moments for reflection. The moments when you can deeply speak to yourself by looking back, analyzing your yesterday. And I've said this from the beginning. Life is leap forward, understood backward. Understood backward. Financial management is better done when you know that tomorrow is not guaranteed. You can build financial management capacity, time management capacity, if you know that tomorrow is not guaranteed. And how do you know that tomorrow is not guaranteed? If you have not actually had some events in your life, situations in your life that shows you that tomorrow is not guaranteed. If you have not deeply have people around you who went to their job today, but the following day when they got to the same job, they lost the job. Or if you have not seen people who lost their businesses, if you have not seen people who lost whatever they have actually invested in. So if you have not actually built this level of reflection to know how situation and how life works, you live recklessly, you live anyhow, and you have the high tendency of being consumed by the world. But if you can build reflection capacity to see how things has been before now, to look at situation that has happened, look at COVID-19. Before COVID, some few days to COVID-19, nobody predicted it. Look at what is going on in between Iran and US now, and look at how it has affected the global economy. Who expected that? Who expected that? And if you are going through this moment now and you are not reflecting around it, you are not building your own blueprint to life around all of this, you have the high chance of being consumed. Like the concept is about reflection, building some portion of the day to always reflect on what is happening and what is going on. Because life is not lived casually, life is lived intentionally. And the only way you can be intentional about your life is to build some portion of the day to reflect, to build, to separate some portion of the day when you can have quietness, serenity, and begin to evaluate what happens through the day. If you have not been able to reflect around the world that is going around now, if the next will happen, you will be consumed the same way some people are being consumed now. Because the same war that is going on now has destroyed some businesses, has destroyed some life. And so if individual keeps living without building a blueprint to life, by understanding what is going on and what is happening, Serene, Sisofrembalik, how are you? So if you are not able to build blueprints to life through the power of reflection, you have the high chance of ups and down, ups and down. That today you are fine and tomorrow you're not fine. That the situation that happens 2 years ago, if it repeats itself, it will still affect you the way it affected you the last time. That is what the power of reflection does. It helps you to analyze every situation and build a blueprint to address such the next time. The people who experienced the depression, economic depression of 2008, those ones that learn from it, build blueprint from it, definitely are already preparing for the next one. So if you learn from yesterday and build a guide from it, definitely you are preparing for such. If it's going to repeat itself, you had already prepared yourself to take care of it. And that is what separating some portion of your day, reflecting. If you want to even build what we call interpersonal relationship skills, the best way is reflection. When you have interaction with people, some people throughout the day, and at the end of the day, you can look back and look at how you have addressed those relationships. It will help you build blueprints to interpersonal relationship. It will help you build blueprints to addressing people. Because let me tell you, interpersonal relationship skills is one of the biggest skills that will help you navigate the world at the maximum, at the best. Because every day we relate with people. Every day you relate with people. There's nothing you do in this world without relating with people. Yarin, thank you for staying. Thank you, Yarin. I can see you. I can see you. You can give some likes. Thank you. Thank you. So every day we deal with people. You do not go out one day without having interaction with people. And that is why interpersonal relationship skills becomes one of the biggest skills to build in life. And the way to build this is through reflection. How you deal with people yesterday. How did they react? What are their responses? What are the people you're dealing with? How did they respond to the interactions? So over the time, when you begin to build and you begin to reflect, you begin to build a blueprint to approach people, to deal with people. And that is why the concept of reflection becomes important. When you're going through difficult moments, you should not be about, I just want to get out of this moment. I just want the end of this moment. That moment came to build you. That moment was designed to take you from your current position to the next level. I often there is a material I developed recently around the good and bad. That the reality of life is that good is not better than bad, and bad is not different from good. The two of them were designed to serve a purpose. And so when you are having a good moment, you should not celebrate better than when you are having a bad moment. Because the bad moment that you see as bad is a construct. So what is called bad is a construct by a human being. But it is a moment designed for you to spend deep time and get yourself up. So because it is very hard to spend your deepest energy when things are good. When things are good, it is hard for you to spend the deepest energy to think deeply and look for options because the moment is good. But the only time you can spend your highest thinking capacity is when things are bad. When things are bad is when you can then deeply go into your deepest thinking capacity and begin to look for options, alternative on how to do things. If you lose your job, the way you will think about getting another job will be different from the way you will think when you have your job because things are good. So you don't need to be your thinking level will not be that strong. Nothing is bothering you, nothing is pushing you. And so you cannot go to the deepest level of your thinking when things are good. And that is why the bad moment needs to come to skyrocket you, to catapult you. That is the best time when you will go to your deepest thinking and then move many ladders up. So the concept of bad is a construct. The two are moments, the good moment, the bad moment. They are all moments. The good moments and the bad moments are all moments. But the society constructed it to want to be bad and want to be good. And some of us try to push ourselves so much to the side of good. When the reality of the world is that it is duality. There will be that time when there will be good, there will be that time when there will be bad. And so all you need is to build that reflection capacity to be able to navigate the bad moments. You've got to be able to build that reflection capacity to navigate every moment of your life. It gives you liberty over every issue. The power of reflection, spending quality time with yourself. Ostuko, Seni Aisi, Ade Jesu, Rusga, Diego. I can see you guys. I see you guys. Thank you. The conversation, Diego, yeah, Daigo. It's Daigo, right? Musa, thank you. So the conversation is about learning how to build some moments daily, which is going to be for reflection, that life is lived intentionally and not casually. That when it comes to building knowledge and building wisdom, it is done intentionally over the period of time. And that is why when you see some certain people, the way they speak, the way they address issues, you begin to call them a wise person. But wisdom does not come overnight. Wisdom does not go to casual people. Wisdom is built intentionally, and it is built through reflection capacity. And that is why I've decided to speak to the concept of reflection. The concept of reflection. And that is one of the biggest way to become new every time. That is the biggest way to remain human being. A creature that is refreshed every time, that is fresh every time. My life. So the concept of reflection is one of the biggest way to remain relevant, to remain being all the time and remain you and be able to address issues from inside, from knowledge, from capacity. Majority of people goes through life rushing. You're rushing through life. I just want to go through this moment. I just want this moment to end. I just want to see the end of this moment. Every moment came to bless you. Every moment came to uplift you, to adjust your position. But if you have not learned how to build reflection capacity to address every moment, to see every moment deeply, you've got to be able to reflect daily, every time. That is one of the best way to build wisdom, to build knowledge. No name one. Fokan, Shefelin, thank you for coming alive. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Majority of people goes through difficult moments because they've not been able to build reflection capacity over the previous years. And so small things comes to your life and you are shaking because you have not been able to build templates towards life. Because things that happened to you in the past, you have not learned from some of them. Because the only way you can really learn from situation is through reflection. Why has it come to me? Why does this happen to me? And then a few years later, you look back again and you say, if that thing had not happened to me, probably I won't be here today. And so if the next one will happen to you, you know how to handle it. You handle it cheerfully. You handle it happily. We've got to build reflection capacity. We've got to learn how to look back. As I've said, life lived forward, but understood backward. Life is lived forward, but it is understood backward. And the only way you can understand the life is building reflection capacity. Elif, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, Elif. So let's learn how to build some portion of our days for reflection. Learn how to build some portion of your days for reflection. Don't just go through life. Do not forget every event that happened to you. Do not forget your past. Build template from your past. Build template from every event. Build template from every situation. That will guide you going forward. That will be your blueprints to situation of lives. Oh, Elif, but you are writing in English. And so the submission on this platform today is the power of reflection. Building some portion of our days for reflection. Building some portion of our days for reflection. To be able to build knowledge, build wisdom to approach the days ahead. To approach the days ahead. As I've said, you can be given the grace to lose thousands, but the grace to lose millions is not given to you. And so, at the moment of thousands, you need to build the template to take charge of the moment of millions. At the moment where you are making thousands, you've got to be able to learn, deeply build your template so you can properly take charge of the million times. If you have not been able to build template from yesterday, tomorrow can destroy you. If you have not been able to build template from what happened to you yesterday, tomorrow can destroy you. And that is the point of that is the need for reflection to build template from yesterday so that tomorrow can be taken charge of, so that you can properly and duly take charge of tomorrow. Go and build that portion of the day that is for reflection. 1 hour, 2 hours. Build moments for reflection. Design a moment in your life, some portion of your life that is for reflection, and you will be better for it. You will be better for it. Durute. Thank you, Durute. Thank you. Thank you. It is about building some portion of the day for reflection to be able to understand how far you've come and then be able to take charge of where you are going. It's not from Bible, it's just from understanding my life coming so far. It is the reason why I'm teaching this, that you can build knowledge yourself through reflection. You can build knowledge, wisdom through reflection. So it is not a biblical stuff. It's not from anywhere. It is from knowledge I've built over the period of time through reflection, looking back. Yes, I've built these over the period of time so I can help others. Dorothy, I've built that knowledge over the period of time so that I can guide people to build reflection moments where they can look back. And I've also said here that one of the ways that I discover my gift is through reflection. When I look back at my life, years, and I look at what I do, how I've navigated life, and so I can then build a blueprint. And so it's the end of the conversation for today, Dorothy. We can link up, and then we can have better chats and help each others. You can discover your gifts through the power of reflection, and purpose is easier discovered through gifts. Purpose is easier discovered through gifts. When you discover your gift and begin to develop and use your gift, it is easier to assume purpose. Because a lot of people talk about purpose and all of that without letting people understand that they need to discover the gifts. When you deploy your gift properly, you can assume your purpose. And that is that for today. Build reflection capacity. Spend some portion of your day reflecting, and you will be better for it. You will be better for it. Wish you all the best. It is the house of purpose and power. Here we build internal capacity to take charge of external world, to take charge of external reality. Do not pursue external if internal has not been built deeply. So what we do here is to help you build internal so you can go and take charge of your world.